trying to make it all make sense.
The
More.
You
No.
Podcast.
So Dr. Phil is someone that nowadays is most commonly known for the Cash Me Outside Girl, Bad Baby, and his television show before that, but he's actually a really reputable psychologist, and he worked in law, I believe, and he wrote this book that I'm reading recently called Self Matters, and it brings up some really interesting points, and one of them is that there's 10 events, 7 decisions, and 5 people who impacted your life. He helps you discern these events and people and decisions that you've made, and he helps you come to terms with them and analyze them and move on past them. And what this does is this helps your mindset and also finding your true self, and that's why the book's called Self Matters. It's very fascinating to think that 10 specific times in your life, 10 specific experiences, 7 decisions, 5 people make the most drastic impact on your life. I mean, you think about it, there's 24 hours in a day, and you spend 2/3 of that day living and 1/3 of it or so sleeping. And yet 10 experiences, which could be 30-second experiences or 30-minute experiences or day-long, 3-day-long experiences, impact you more than anything else. And a certain split-second decision changes your life for the positive or the negative. And 5 people, whether it be your parents, a teacher who told you you're going to fail, or an ex-girlfriend who told you weren't good enough, they impact you more than the thousands of people that you interact with throughout a lifetime. And it's really powerful to be able to identify these, because when you do, you gain power over it. With that awareness, you start to gain better insights, and with those insights, you learn more about yourself. And when you learn more about yourself, you're able to move past those things and move past those experiences and figure out the crucial decisions in your life, and that will help make the right decisions in the future, and also help understand who's impacted you the most importantly in life, as well as who's harmed you the most in life from a negative standpoint, and how you can forgive and move past that. At the end of the day, authenticity is something that's talked about over and over and over again, and Lewis Howes talks about it, Aubrey Marcus, Gerard Adams, Mylett, Gary Vaynerchuk. It's something that's talked about constantly. And if you don't know your true self and you aren't comfortable with your true self, you can't ever be authentic. This book may be one of the most powerful books I've ever read because of that. Because at the end of the day, when you get closer to understanding your true self, you're able to live a life of significance and be authentic. And these techniques and practices and this awareness that's created surrounding these 10 experiences and these 7 decisions and these 5 people, it really helps bring awareness towards your life and helps you move forward. In the book, it's funny, it's written for people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, because that's really the target market of Dr. Phil's, the folks who watch Dr. Phil in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. But these are practices that should be started when you're in your 20s, if not earlier. Dealing with being your true self and being authentic can be really hard, and I think it's something that more people struggle with than not. And that's, at the end of the day, is what it means is you aren't really comfortable with some certain aspect, or you've been put down in some way which makes you uncomfortable. And I've had it with my parents in certain ways that they doubted me, and with failures in relationships I've had, and ways that teachers and society has looked at me. And it's something that's hindered me with ways that I feel about myself, and in ways that I've acted in the world all the way up till the last year or two. And as you grow closer to yourself, and as you find these principles and techniques and practices that help draw awareness and help you come closer to your true self, it really makes life more enjoyable. You become more calm, and because you're more comfortable with yourself, you're more decisive and confident with your actions and who you are, and you're confident more with your communication and your interactions with those you have relationships with. I think at the end of the day, we should all be motivated to finding our true selves and becoming as close as we can with our true selves. Something about your true self is, while you can feel like you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, and you've gone through these practices, figuring out these 10 experiences and these 7 decisions and these 5 people, you're constantly changing. All humans, we constantly change as time goes on, and as we experience new things and interact with new people and make different decisions. And because of that, those 10 experiences and those 7 decisions and those 5 people, they're going to change throughout time. And what that means is that you have to have constant awareness and be constantly assessing who your true self is and make sure that you're being true to yourself. It'll get easier with time and there'll be less to change and less to assess. But it's something that's never going to stop. It's a process that's never finished. There's only one true self, and you're going to get to know your true self, but your true self is always going to change. So many people spend so much time obsessing and focusing over meeting new people and gaining new friends and followers and building their network, yet they don't take time to focus on figuring out who their true self is. And that's something that people need to stop ignoring, and something that you shouldn't ignore, because the more you ignore it and the longer you prolong to ignore it, the longer those negative, especially experiences and choices and people in your life, you won't have awareness over that, and therefore you won't be able to make the changes and understand what you need to do to become your true self. So it is important before you build relationships, whether it be a relationship with a significant other or so focused with becoming popular and having all these friends, to figure out who your true self is and become close and comfortable with your true self. Because if not, all those friends, all those relationships that you have, all of that intent you have to become popular, it's artificial in some way, it's superficial in some way, it's masked in some way, because you can't be your true self. You aren't comfortable with your true self. And if you aren't able to be comfortable with your true self, life is really not genuine, it's not authentic, and those relationships won't be authentic. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes, leave a review, and follow us on social media at More You Know Pod. Also, please don't forget about our sweepstakes. Retweet a clip with the hashtag The More You Know and New Podcast from our Twitter for a chance to win a signed copy of my upcoming book, The More You Know, coming this fall. Tag 2 friends in the comments on a clip on Instagram for a chance to win a brand new copy of Dean Graziosi's Millionaire Mindset or Ed Mylett's Max Out. Like us or share a clip on Facebook for a chance to win a book I have read that highly inspired me, signed by me with an inspirational message. Again, thank you for listening as we propel with podcasting through the More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The More You Know Podcast.